Good morning, guys. So today's concept is okay. Today's concept is the concept of stubs. Okay, what exactly meant by stub? What is the purpose of stub? I think in my day before yesterday's class, Satish sir told the class on impedance matching, right? What exactly meant by impedance matching? Why? Because the concept of stub is especially developed to provide impedance matching. Okay, what exactly mean by impedance matching? Okay, already I told you earlier, impedance matching. Suppose my knowledge levels and your knowledge levels, okay, both are same, and both we are having equal idea, okay, or equal knowledge on the same concept. Okay, whatever I told you, you may definitely grasp that information without any loss, right? That is, okay, the matching between you and me occurred in the view of knowledge. Okay, similarly, information is also same here, but conveying information through transmission line is also same. Okay, but the piece of transmission line is not existed several hundreds of kilometers. Definitely, that piece of transmission line is a wire, physical wire. Okay, simply conducting medium. But okay, but that to establish the long wire communication or long distance communication, these transmission lines are interconnected, right? The piece of transmission lines are interconnected. Why? Because in practical, it is not possible to establish several hundreds of transmission lines in physical. Okay, instead, okay, that piece of transmission lines are joined together. Okay, but here one possibility is if these two transmission lines having equal conductivity and equal characteristics in the view of carrying information from one location to another location, okay, same resistance they are offered. Okay, this is the example. Of course, you and me, okay, my knowledge levels is different and your knowledge levels are different. Okay, while I'm okay, telling the concept, okay, while I'm telling the concept, okay, you may receive the 50% of that entire concept, maybe. Okay, that's why, and you grasp only 50%. Okay, then what about remaining 50% of the same class? Okay, that is called a loss. Okay, because of the impedance mismatch between you and me, the information is lost. Similarly, the concept is same for the transmission lines. Okay, and it to further purpose to convey the maximum information. Okay, my and your impedances must be matched. Okay, similarly, here transmission line, and that is the purpose of transmission line. Okay, that is the concept of impedance matching. Here the stubs. Okay, of course here two types of stubs there, single stub and double stub. Okay, what exactly it means? Okay, I will tell you. But the stub is nothing but, of course, there is a piece of transmission line, but why it is exactly why the main theme behind that stub is to provide impedance matching, to provide impedance matching. Of course, the stub is also a piece of conducting wire. Stub is also a piece of conducting wire. That conducting wire, okay, the piece of conducting wire. That conducting wire is uh, used to terminate that transmission line, parallel transmission line. Used to terminate. To terminate means just one line is connected like this. Okay, see here. Okay, for suppose this is the transmission line. This is the transmission line. Okay, this is the wire. Okay, this is the wire connected like this. Okay, to provide impedance matching. And here, the RLGC components of this stub is quite different. Okay, but this piece of transmission line connected here is movable. Okay, this is the movable. Okay, and it is possible to drag either okay, towards source side or towards the destination side, whatever it may be. Okay, in this way, the RLGC components existed in that piece of transmission line is terminated with respect to this stub. In this way, okay, impedance is matched. Okay, that is the concept of stub. And when we connect a single wire between the lines, so that is called a single stub. If we connect the two piece of connecting wires like a termination ends, okay, on either side is called a double stub. See here, impedance matching by stubs, single stub, and double stub matching. Okay, okay. Today's concept is called stubs. Concept of stubs. Here, that stub is nothing but a piece of transmission line that is connected to the transmission line in order to provide good impedance matching. That is the definition. Here, those stubs are classified into two types as a single stub and double stub. See here, coming into the concept, especially in the microwave engineering, okay, stub is a length of transmission line or waveguide that is connected at only one end. Understand? Okay, that is connected at only one end of that transmission line. Okay, the free end of the stub is either left open circuit or short circuited. Okay, and it may be leave it as a either open circuit or short circuited depending upon the requirement. And for suppose if it is short circuited, okay, the impedance offered by that short circuit is zero. Okay, and in order to provide the proper impedance matching with respect to the transmission line. Okay, that's why again single stub or double stub is classified as a open circuit stubs and short circuit stubs. Did you get that? Okay, inverse tree structure, inverse tree structure. Okay, stub. The concept of stub is classified as a single stub and double stub. Again, single stub and double stubs are again classified as a open circuit stubs and short circuit stubs. Okay, stub is nothing but a piece of transmission line. Okay, which is very short in length, which is connected between the two and in parallel to the transmission line in order to provide best impedance matching. Okay, see here in microwave and radio frequency range, stub is the length of the transmission line or a waveguide. That is okay. Just leave the concept of waveguide here. Okay, which is connected at the one end only. Okay, for suppose it is connected at two ends, maybe that is called a double stub. Okay, the free end of the stub is either left open or short. Okay, neglecting the transmission line losses. See here, they neglecting the transmission line losses. The input impedance of the stub is purely reactive. Okay, in yesterday's concept, I hope you best understand that derivation. Okay, Z in. Okay, I will share it. Okay, it is very okay crucial and okay fruitful concept in the transmission line. Okay, so the input impedance of the stub is purely reactive. Okay, and in terms of JXC and JXL only. Okay, why? Because this is the short circuit stub, right? Already you see what is the input impedance of that short circuit stub, short circuited transmission line in the yesterday's class. Okay, here the termination end is JXL or JXC, right? Either a capacitive or inductive. Okay, depending upon electrical length of that stub. Okay, and it may electrical length is nothing but that electrical length is nothing but that contains that RLGC components. Okay, those RLGC are the electrical components. That's why that is called electrical length. Okay, or whether it is a open circuited or short circuit. Okay, stubs may thus be considered to be a frequency dependent capacitors and frequency dependent inductors. Of course, that capacitors and inductors are always frequency dependent. Okay, capacitors and inductors are always frequency dependent, right? Okay, what we learn from this first para? What are the observations? Okay, stub is a piece of transmission line. Okay, that is connected to the or terminating with the terminating end of that okay, actual transmission line. Okay, that free end of the transmission line may be open or short. Okay, depending upon the requirements. Okay, here they did not consider the transmission line losses. Okay, and they neglecting the transmission line losses. Okay, the input impedance of the stub is always purely reactive. Okay, and the purely reactive means either capacitive reactive or inductance reactive, whatever it may be. Of course, it always depends upon the electrical length of that stub. Okay, already you know what is meant by electrical length. Okay, the stubs may is considered to be a frequency dependent. Of course, they are reactive. They are always depends upon frequencies. See here, because stubs take an reactive properties as a function of their electrical length, stubs are most common in UHF or microwave circuits. Okay, of course, okay, the reactants means that inductive reactance or capacitive reactance is always the function of frequency. That's why at a very high frequencies they are very significant. Okay, that's why here stubs are most common in UHF or microwave circuits, whether the line of the length or more manageable. Okay, stubs are commonly used in antenna impedance matching circuits and frequency selective filters. Of course, that is a common. Okay, the electrical characteristics of the transmission line or LGC is used as a piece of antenna, right? So what is meant by antenna? Antenna is a piece of wire, a piece of transmission wire or a piece of conducting wire. But how that piece of wire exhibits the characteristics of antenna? Why? Because that internally contains some resonance parameters. Resonance parameters means capacitive and capacitive and inductive. Capacitive and inductive. So because of that character, okay, that piece of transmission line acts as a antenna. Okay. At the same time, here Smith chart concept, the concept of Smith chart, and next upcoming concept, that is Smith chart concept is used to determine, okay, the length of the line to obtain desired reactance. And is it I mean, is it capacitive reactance or is it okay, inductive reactance? Okay. Now coming into the basic concept of short circuited stubs. Okay, short circuited stubs. Of course, the input impedance of the lossless short circuited line, already you know the input impedance of lossless, okay, short circuited line, already you know, okay, already we derived in the yesterday's class. Okay, what input impedance of the short circuited line? Completely reactive, right? That's why short circuited impedance ZS equal to J into Z naught tan beta L. Okay, all of you please go through the test study video. Okay, it is very important in competitive exam point of view and your final exam point of view. Okay, where J is the imaginary unit and Z naught is the characteristic impedance of the line and beta is the phase coefficient or a wave number. Okay, and L is the physical length of the transmission line. Okay. See here, depending upon whether tan beta L is a positive or negative, okay, the stub will be inductive or capacitive. Okay, see here, the length of the stub acts as a capacitor for support. Okay, the length of the stub, okay, the electrical length of that capacitor. The electrical length of the capacitor means the electrical characteristics of the transmission line is RLGC primary constant. In that, according to the frequency which is passing through the transmission line, the reactive terms, is it a capacitive reactance or inductive reactance, or varied, right? The length of the stub to act as a capacitor C at an angular frequency omega is then given by, okay, that is the relation with respect to length of the electrical length of that transmission line as a n plus 1 into 5 minus at an angle of tan, okay, 1 by omega c z naught. Okay, no need of this derivation. Okay, and no need to remember this derivation. Okay, just only for that representation. Okay, the length of the stub acts as an inductor L. Okay, the length of, for this length, and for this length it acts as a inductor L. Okay, it is having some shortcut. Okay, I will tell you. Okay, in the later concepts. But actually, that capacitor reactions or inductor reactions with respect to frequency is varied, right? XL equal to 2πfL and XC equal to 1 by 2πfc. Okay, and then for high frequencies, it offers inductive reactions. So for low frequencies, it offers capacitive reactions, right? Okay, from the relation of XL equal to 2πfL and XC equal to 1 by 2πfc. Okay, see here, the length of the stub acts as an inductor L at the same frequency is given by L equal to 1 by beta. Okay, see here, for that capacitor n plus 1 into phi, and for the inductor simply this is n phi. Okay, and this for this capacitor reactance, okay, 1 by j xc, right? That's why this is the minus arc. Okay, minus at an angle of, okay, the arc means at an angle of tan. Okay, here omega L into omega L by z naught. Okay, this is the XL equal to 2 phi FL. Already you know. Okay, from that expression, this is the omega L by z naught. This is 1 by omega C into z naught. Okay, that is the difference. Okay, but no need to remember that point. Similarly, for the open circuit stub from that yesterday's concept. Okay, open circuited I mean input impedance of the open circuited line ZOC equal to minus j into z naught of cot beta L. Of course, that is z naught by tan beta L. That is represented like this cot of, okay, inverse. Okay, inverse of the tan is represented like cot of beta L. Okay, of course, for that, okay, for capacitive reactance and inductive reactance, they represented like this. Was the same formula, but instead of tan, they take cot, of course, but these two are reversed. So L equal to 1 by beta of n plus 1 into 5 for that inductor. Okay, at an angle of cot equal to omega L by z naught. For capacitors, it is n phi into at an angle of cot by 1 by omega c z naught. Okay, see here, this is called stub matching. Okay, real-time example. Okay, this is the main transmission line. Okay, this is the main transmission line. Okay, this is the main transmission line, and this is the load. Okay, or connector, which is coupled to that next piece of transmission line, and this is called adjustable stub. Okay, and this is movable. Okay, movable on either side. Okay, see here, in a stripe line circuit, stub may be placed just before an output connector to compensate for small matches due to the device's output load or the connector itself. Okay, that's why that single stub is always connected near the load part. Okay, and for the adjustments, it is very convenient. Okay, stubs can be used to match load impedance to the transmission line characteristic impedance. Of course, that is the purpose. The stub is positioned. Okay, that this stub is positioned at a distance from that load. Okay, and this is a very small distance. Okay, and this is the source, and this is the load. Okay, let it be. Okay, so this distance is chosen that the point of the resistive part of the load impedance made equal to the resistive part of the characteristic impedance. It means, okay, at initial, that stub is located. The stub is located in the order of matching that real part of that characteristic impedance of the transmission line with stub. Okay, actually that is complex number, right? R plus j omega L or R plus j omega C. Of course, the stub is also a piece of transmission line that is also having some real and imaginary terms. Okay, first of all, we have to locate the stub. First of all, we have to locate the stub in the order, okay, where the real part of that real part of that transmission line must be matched with the real part of the stub. Okay, that is the ideal location. Okay, that is the point. Okay, I want to explain here. The distance is chosen that the point, the resistive part of that load impedance made equal to the resistive part of the characteristic impedance of the stub of the main line. Okay. The length of the stub is chosen so that it exactly cancels that reactive part of presented impedance. Of course, okay. And, I mean the electrical length of the transmission line. Okay, the electrical length of the transmission line here considered. Okay, the electrical length of the transmission line here considered in the order to cancel out the imaginary terms of that main transmission line. Okay. Okay, and real part must be equal and imaginary part must be cancelled. Okay. This is not same as the actual impedance of the load, since the reactive part of the load impedance is subjected to the impedance transformer actions as well as the resistive part, of course. Okay, what we learned so far? Okay, stub matching with respect to open circuit and short circuit with respect to capacitor reactance and inductive reactance and its okay, length, right? Electrical characteristics of the length. Okay, now when we consider a piece of transmission line where the stub is located near to the load. Okay, why that stub is always located near to the load? Why? Because then it is very convenient to adjust along the transmission line to match with load impedances. Okay, or load impedances with the characteristic impedance of the transmission line. Okay, that is the purpose. At the same time, which type of okay, the length of the stub. Okay, how to consider uh, the length of the stub. Okay, length of the stub considered in the order to match with okay, reactive components of that transmission line must be cancelled. At the same time, real part is approximated. Okay, real part of that stub and transmission line must be approximated. Okay, that is the terms you learn from that part. Okay, second case in the method of impedance matching using stub. Okay, it may be open circuit stub or closed stub. Okay, at the same time, the length of the stub, okay, which you use it to terminate the transmission line, is designed in the order to provide reactance. Okay, reactance must be cancelled each other. Okay, and matched with only real part, right? See here. Uh, Stub length is used as a reactance shunted across the transmission line at a designated distance from that load. Okay, and where exactly it is located, reactive terms must be cancelled. Okay, in that distance, you must be located to tune the length of the line and the load to the resonance with anti resonant resistance equal to R naught. Okay. Okay, just leave point. Okay, I will explain where the situation comes into the picture. See here, matching stubs can be made. Okay, that matching stubs can be made adjustable so that the matching can be corrected on test. Okay, and by using trial and error method. Okay, by adjusting the transmission line along that main transmission line, it is possible to adjust that the real and imaginary terms or to cancel imaginary terms and match with the real term. Okay, single stub will only achieve a perfect match at one specific frequency. Okay, that is the resonant frequency of that stub. Okay, for wideband matching, several stubs may be used. Okay, spaced along the main transmission line. Okay, and when we use more than one stub and less than three stubs, that is called a two stub, of course. Okay, so single stub and double stub. If you prefer more than two stubs, that is called multiple stubs. Okay, multi stub. Okay, for wideband matching, several stubs may be used. Those stubs are connected along the length of the transmission line. Okay, the resulting structure of the filter like and filter design techniques are applied here. Okay, of course the internal characteristics are always filter in nature, right? Okay, the matching network may be designed as a Chebyshev filter, but it is optimized to impedance matching instead of a passband transmission. Okay, again the old concept. Okay, the resulting transmission function of a network has a passband ripple like Chebyshev filter, but the ripples never reach 0 dB insertion loss at any point in the passband. Already you know, okay, during the passband it never reaches the 0 dB. Okay, why? That's why that is called a passband. If it reaches the 0 dB, that is called a stop band. Okay, as they would do for that standard filter. See here, This is the phenomena. Okay, I want to explain. Okay, this is called a single stub impedance matching. Okay, and if for suppose write a short notes on single stub impedance matching in the final examination. Okay, you have to go through these concepts. Okay, so far we learn uh, okay what exactly the stub. Okay, why that, what is the electrical length of the stub. Okay, where exactly the stub is located. Okay, what is the real term and what is the imaginary term. Okay, how to cancel that image reactant terms of the transmission line with respect to electrical length of the stub, right? So single stub impedance matching is the overall concept. Okay, the load should be matched to the characteristic impedance of the line so as to much power as possible is transmitted from the generator to load. Ultimately, our goal is I want to transfer my complete knowledge to you. Okay, okay, that's why your impedance and my impedance must be matched. Okay, here also the same, to carry the information completely from source to destination. Okay, the impedance must be matched with source and load. Okay, to meet that requirement, uh, load impedances and source impedances must be matched with a concept called stub. Okay, see here, but stub is a piece of transmission line that is connected across that transmission line near the load. Okay, otherwise that is the reason why it is very convenient to adjust the impedance of that line. Get it? The load should be matched with the characteristic impedance of the line so that much power as possible is transmitted. Okay, as much as is transmitted from the generator to the load. Okay, the line should be matched because of the reflections from the matched load. Okay, a mismatched load. Okay, why that reflections occurred? Already I told you. Reflections occurred on the transmission line because okay, mismatch between you and me, right? Okay, I'm the source and you are the destination, and you are the load. For suppose, okay, uh, while I am telling you the 100% information, just you are able to receive 25%. Then what about remaining 75%? Okay, the remaining percent of your impedance is uh, yourself is wasted, right? Okay, while I am telling the class, simply you update your status and profile pictures instead of listening the class. Okay, that's why you are able to receive only 25% instead of 100%, and remaining 75% is reflected back. Okay, that is the reflection. Okay, here there is no matching exists between you and me. I am the source and you are the destination. Okay, you are the load, source load and okay, source and load impedance match are okay, not matched here. Okay, that's why there is no information transfer from maximum information transfer from source to load. Okay, here also the same concept. Okay, the line should be matched because of the reflection from the mismatched loads and junctions will result and echoes and will distort the information of the carrying signal. Okay, carrying signal for information transmission through okay, this established transmission line. See here, here two cases as a short circuited and open circuited stubs, right? Okay, short circuited stubs are used for impedance matching on transmission lines. Remember that point. Okay, that single stub method method for impedance matching. Okay, an arbitrary load impedance. This is the arbitrary load impedance. Okay, it offers the impedance resistance called R naught. Okay, and load impedance can be matched to the transmission line by placing a single short circuited stub in parallel with the transmission line. Okay, just like this. Okay, see this figure. Okay, observe the points B dash. Okay, see here. This is B and B dash. This is B and B dash. Here the transmission line is connected. Okay, that stub is connected here. Similarly, what is admittance? Okay, and here that resistance is connected in shunt. That's why that is considered as a 1 by resistance as a admittance. Okay, that's all. Okay, leave this concept. Okay, that is not required. And next one is the double stub matching. Okay, what is meant by double stub matching? Okay, this is the another method of another method used for to provide the impedance matching. Okay, where the two stubs, which the locations of the stubs are arbitrary, the two stub lengths finishing required furnishing with the required adjustments, and they are completely movable. At the same time, the spacing is a frequently made as lambda by 4. Why? Because what is the okay, quarter wavelength transformer is also called as impedance inverter, right? Okay, generally that spacing is frequently made as lambda by 4. Okay, that's why they okay, such type of okay, I mean stub to stub difference, okay, distance is made like this, and such type of structure is called a double stub matching. Okay, that double stub matching is preferred over a single stub due to the following uh, okay, double stub matching is preferred over a single stub due to the following disadvantages of the single stub. Okay, what are the disadvantages? Single stub matching is useful for a fixed frequency. Remember that point. Single stub matching is useful for fixed frequency. So as to frequency changes, the location of single stub will have to be changed. Okay, at each time. Okay, each time I have to change. Okay, that stub location. Okay, that is the one disadvantage. And second disadvantage, the single stub system is based on the measurement of voltage minimum and the Vmax and V minimum measurement. Based on that, the single stub matching is preferred. Okay, hence for coaxial cable, it is very difficult to get such a voltage minimum without using the slotted line section. The slotted line section is the one of the VSWR measurement technique, and the V maximum, V minimum measurement technique. Okay, the slotted line section. Okay, for that for a transmission line like coaxial cables, such a type of concept is very difficult. That's why that single stub matching is not preferred, and not preferred, or it is very difficult to uh, use to find V maximum and V minimum in single stub matching concept. That's why we always prefer double stub matching. Okay, this is the concept called single stub and double stub matching concept. Okay, in the next concept, in the next class, we will discuss about Smith charts. Okay, that's all about today's class. I will continue in the next class. Okay, thank you.